Hey guys, it's David, and today I want to talk to you about using JoyShockMapper with your Nintendo Switch Pro controller. So, I heard a lot of people talking about AimLab recently. I really enjoy the program, especially in like Splatoon. People have been talking about AimLab. I love it. I like to use it. The problem I have, you can use Steam's support. I just don't think it's as good as JoyShockMapper. So that's why I'm telling you guys how to use it. It can be a little pain to set up, but overall I think it's better. And I mean, if you want to do aim training, having the most accurate program to do that with, to me, seems important. So let me get right into it. So right over here, we got GitHub/GibSmart/JoyShockMapper/releases. I'm going to put this in the description for you guys. That way you can use it. Today I will be using the JSMX64.zip. It is the most recent release. One thing I really like about this is that it has added experimental support for connecting Switch Pro controllers by USB. Before, you had to connect it through Bluetooth, which I found to be kind of a pain. This actually adds it, so as you can see before, it's using the USB-C cable, so it's already set up and good to go. So once you download this, you extract it. I got the JSM X64 folder, go into JSM. So you've got, this is your main folder here with everything in it. Auto load, you can put configs in there. These sort of things are just text documents that have variables on it. You can put, those kind of things into the autoloader for it. And like once you put it in the auto load, with the program name, the second you click on it and bring it into view, it will auto load the program you have for it automatically. That way you don't have to do what I'm going to show you as far as loading the config file. And your main thing right here is Gyro Configs. That's where your configs are going to be. This is basically what you have to load into JoyShockMapper for things to happen, which I'm going to show you right now. This is your main program. This is JoyShockMapper. Let's open it up. It says version 1.6.1. And right now below it is something you need to pay attention to. It says one device connected. If it says 0 devices connected, it's not detecting your controller. You can see over here, Bluetooth and other devices. My Pro controller is there. My Windows is detecting it. So if it's showing 0, you may have to figure out why your PC is not detecting it. Now, as you see right now, I'm moving my controller. I'm pressing buttons. Nothing's happening right now in JoyShockMapper. And that's because we need to load a config file for it. So let's go to Gyro Configs. Now, I'm going to be using my own custom one called AimLab that I made myself. It's really easy to do. You just go to 3D template, make a copy of this, and you can basically set whatever you want. L left, right, up and down. This is the left stick. They have another one for the R right, RL. That'd be the right stick. They have everything in a README. If you just go in here and all the commands and click or type in help. Type help. There we go. It will take you to this help page. And right down here, it'll give you documentation for all the commands that you can put in and customize for your Pro controller, or it also has support for the DualShock and I believe the Joy-Cons as well. So that's really cool. Lots of different options for you. So it's 3D template. And if you notice through 3D template at the bottom, Gyro Configs /3D mouse, it's going to load that as well when you load this, when you load the program. 3D mouse is where you can customize things like gyro sensitivity, gyro threshold, 6 sensitivity. One thing I did change here is the right stick mode. He, by default, has it to this flick stick thing that he really likes. I prefer to have it to aim because I like to use the left mouse to kind of center, or the left stick to kind of center my mouse after the gyros kind of goes off in weird directions to get it back to my basically to center it where my comfortable resting position is. So to do that, you can change it back and forth. In these text files, all you have to do is put a pound sign in front of a line, and the program will treat it as a comment. So by putting this pound sign, it will ignore this whole line, right stick mode flick, and it will pick up the right stick mode aim. So like if you wanted to change it back, all you would have to do is this. See? Easy. But I want it on aim. So that is that for the text documents. We're not going to save it. So we're ready to load a config file and get the show on the road. So really easy to do. I'm just going to move it over. Boop. That brings in the file path into the program. Make sure it's in focus. Hit enter. And there we go. Stuff is happening. I can move it now. It's detecting button presses. So that's how you know it's working. All right, so one thing you will notice here, if I'll bring it down to the screen here, you can see that it is drifting a bit. And this happens like every time I use it. It's kind of a pain, but it's not as bad, honestly, as Steam. Steam, I had to also recalibrate all the time as well. So I don't know if it's just my Pro controller, Steam, who knows? Who knows what it is, but it's actually pretty easy to stop this drift. You just type in restart gyro, restart underscore gyro underscore calibration. Oh, I think I spelled that wrong. Calibration. There we go. Restart gyro calibration. It's no longer moving. It won't move at all, actually. Well, actually, I think it will move. But I should probably leave that. See that. See, I kind of messed things up by doing that. So, restarting gyro calibration. Now, what you want to do after you do that is finish gyro calibration. You want to leave it on flat surface when you're calibrating it. Okay, it's finished. It's working now. And it is not drifting. It may actually still be drifting, but an extremely small amount. I have no idea how to completely reduce it, but it's actually now, all I got to do is tap up and then tap down. I already got both commands already loaded. It's super easy to recalibrate it if it does start drifting again. Unlike Steam, where you have to go into a thing and then wait like 4 or 5 minutes. That's actually one of the reasons I kind of stopped using Steam and AimLab is like it was drifting like after 2 or 3 matches of AimLab, you know, two or 3 drills, it was drifting and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, how am I gonna be accurate if it's drifting constantly? With this, it's actually really easy to fix. So that's awesome. And like I said before, it's more accurate. So now we've got things working. So let's go in to AimLab. So I'm going to bring up Steam. Where did Steam go? There we go. Bring up Steam. AimLab. We'll get AimLab going over here. I'm going to bring this over and switch over to my right screen. All right. AimLab is working. One thing I do want to mention to you guys, since I had an issue with this before. I have basically everything disabled in Steam as far as controller settings go. I actually did turn the switch controls back on, or support for it I clicked back on because I was trying to troubleshoot something here in AimLab. One thing that if you notice in key bindings here is that it says generic controller is connected. I was having an issue where I'd click on something in the menu and it'd take me right back out instantly. What I figured out was that if you go into a controller, it's still detecting the controller. So when I would be like right clicking, which is default by, or the right trigger, which is their default for fire, I was getting I was clicking through this program and clicking through JoyShockMapper, so it was like giving me a double input, which was instantly taking me back out of the menu, and I had no idea what to do as far as what was going on with that. So what I ended up doing is I just changed everything to the minus button. I mapped everything here to the minus button on my Pro controller, so all it is using is JoyShockMapper. So unless I hit the minus button, it's not going to do anything. So that basically kind of took out that double input and it fixed my issue. So that's something that you may want to look into if you're having that issue as well. But let me prove to you guys that it's working. See, and we'll try out some grid shot here. One of my favorite modes in AimLab. I don't know why, for some reason, my L button centers the map. You have to let me know if that works for you. But I can also use the stick to aim to, which is useful in some other modes. I love the sound of these things breaking. I normally have it turned up more, but for recording this, I didn't want it to be too loud compared to my voice. That would ruin the recording. This is such a fun mode. Like, I don't know for sure if AimLab will actually improve your aiming in Splatoon. I personally have not used it enough to say that for certain. I do think it is a very fun game, very satisfying to blow these things up and kind of test your scores to improve. They did a great job of making this thing like a game of sorts, but still like very minimalistic training, so you can kind of focus in on a certain thing. Whoa, that's a little bit loud. Normally I can get over 40. I'm a little bit rusty. I haven't played it in a while. Those are my Johns. So there we go. Boom, it is done. And that's it, guys. That is AimLab using JoyShockMapper with the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. If you guys have any questions about it, leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to help out. I'm not an expert with this, but I've managed to get it working myself through a bunch of trial and error. Hopefully, this will prevent you from having to do as much. So, that's it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe. That really helped me out. But I appreciate it, guys. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.